Sticky Fingers got off to a pretty strong start. It ultimately didn't deliver as much as I hoped it would, but it's certainly not a bad film. This was released in 1988. It's directed by Catlin and it's written by Adams and Melanie Mayron, with a cast including Helen Slater, Melanie Mayron. We also have Carol Kane. It's because of Carol Kane that I wanted to watch this. I don't believe I'd heard of it before. It sounded interesting, and yeah, while it didn't deliver what I hoped it would, it's still a decent film. Two out-of-work musicians unexpectedly find themselves in charge of a bag stuffed full of drug money. Will they stay quiet, or will they dip their hands into the bag and help themselves? It's a decent enough narrative. Immediately, I liked Hattie and Lolly, our two protagonists. They're very well written, they're believable, with really great performances, and I was really keen to see how they would respond to the situation. So even when the film was developing in a direction I didn't necessarily care for very much, I still enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed spending time with them, getting to know them. So generally there was always something there to keep me engaged. And there were still aspects of the narrative that I liked. I just didn't find it to be as fun or as engaging as it could have been. I think they could have done so much more, without spoiling it in too much detail. What they decide to do, I think they could have done more with. They could have had more fun with. There could have been a bit more variety. I think the comedy could have been, I don't want to say better, I want to say different. And maybe that's more of a personal preference thing. But with this kind of narrative, I guess, as it began to progress, I think I expected it to go in a certain direction. Maybe I was more hopeful than expectant, and it didn't deliver that. But I don't think they made any bad decisions. I think they told the story they wanted to tell. It's just that for me, I would have liked to have seen something a little bit different. It also doesn't look that great. We have dim lighting and a bland colour palette, and that worked well for some scenes. But I do think a lot of scenes could have had a bit of a boost. They could have looked a little bit more engaging. Great pacing though. We do move forward quite regularly with the narrative. The music is good, and it's an easy watch as well, with great characters and performances, and not the worst visuals. I do think the lighting could be better, the colour palette could be more engaging, but I wouldn't say the visuals are bad. They could just be better. And I feel the same way about the narrative. The narrative's not bad, but there is room for improvement. The characters, I'm perfectly happy with. So in general, I'd say Sticky Fingers was okay. It is an easy watch. And whether you want to sit down and become immersed in it, or you're looking for background company, I think it could work either way. Ultimately, Sticky Fingers is not a bad film, and I'm happy enough to recommend it.